Alright, so this is the tutorial for how to get started with their geometric shapes, the digital painting. So you want to make sure to download the file with the image. So you're gonna have a sphere, a cylinder, a cube to do a drawing of. So we're just gonna start off with the drawing using the tablet to start off with. So you want to click and drag this image onto Photoshop, and you want to create a new document. So I'm gonna go File, New. I'll do it again real slow. File, New. And you want to change it to photo and change it to landscape, okay, because you want the longer page. So you click OK, and now you have your paper to work with. Now if you look at the image and the paper you're going to work with, this is a little bit longer, so you can use this crop tool here. Click on the crop tool, it looks like this, and you can click and drag to make this box a little bit smaller. Just double click it, or you can hit that check mark on the top, and it'll set up your orientation the way you want it, or close enough to it. So after you've gotten both your the white page you're going to work on and your image, now you want to set up your workspace so you can look at your image. So I'm just clicking and dragging this off the tab, and I'm just going to resize this. So I'm going to resize it and then do Command minus to make it smaller. And we're going to put this up on the top. I'll make this a little bit smaller. So do Command minus. And then my paper, I'm going to click and drag off the tab, and I'm going to resize it. And make sure when you resize it, you do the resize it the way you want, and then do Command minus to make it smaller or bigger. Alright, now you should have more room on your iMacs. Since I'm working on this laptop, it's real small. But the thing is, though, if you have this attached to here, you see how this keeps hiding behind it when I work on the image. You don't want that to happen. So it's real important to click it off the tab on the top so you can work on your image and still have this open. So you want to have them open up in separate windows and have your workspace arranged kind of like this. And again, if you want to get your brush presets, because again we're going to go to the brush presets, make sure you change your workspace. Go to Window, Workspace, and change it to Painting. Some of you may have it already set to Photography. Since I teach a photography class, they use this default workspace. You can go Windows, Workspace, and Painting. Okay, so now you have all of your space set up. Alright, now just like how we've done our Illustrator tracings, the drawings on Illustrator, you're gonna follow almost the same step with this drawing here. You're going to create a new layer. You can click this tab down here and create a new layer and rename that layer. So you're just going to double click on the name. So this is layer 1. You're going to title this your outline. Alright, so now you have your outline, and make sure it's on the outline layer. Alright, just like how we work in Illustrator, in Photoshop you do want to organize all of your, or you want to make everything into a separate layer, almost the same way that we did in Illustrator. And you want to keep it organized. That's going to make things a lot easier for your work. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to do a drawing of the shapes. So I'm going to click on the brush, and I'm going to go to my brush presets, and you want to find the brush where it's round but it's got like a dynamic edge to it. Not this one here, but this one down here. And I'm going to resize the brush. So you can actually use the brackets to resize it. This bracket's going to make it bigger. Oh, that's going to make this bracket's going to make it smaller. So that's real small. And this one's going to make it bigger. And these are found on your keyboard. Sometimes you might need to double click on the brush again to resize it. For some reason it's not resizing it right away when I do it. Alright, so I'm just going to erase this. Get a big eraser to erase it. Yeah, sometimes you might need to click on that tab again to resize it. Alright, so I'm going to make this a good size so then I can do my drawing. So just make sure to change your color. Change your colors is down here. You can click black to change it, and I'm just going to just draw what I see. Alright, and the only thing that's a little tricky to draw is this cube. Just keep in mind that when you draw cubes, your diagonals, they're always going to stay at the same angle. So you want to try your best to get the same angles. Match this angle with that angle. Match this line with that line. And then same thing with this line here. And this line should match with this line here. And then this line should match that line. Just try to get as close as you can. I'm not going to be super nitpicky on the drawing part, but you want to get it to look almost closely related to your drawing. Alright, do take your time with fixing those lines. Alright, and then sphere, that should be pretty easy. But again, I'm just looking at my drawing, just drawing what I'm seeing. And again, when you're doing the drawing with the tablet, it's a lot harder to make a straight line like this. I'm pretty good with making a straight line just because I've used the tablet a lot. But even now and then, I actually like sketching out the lines. So sketching out is just, you're just doing a couple lines at a time to, create that mark, as opposed to, just drawing a straight line. You have more control of the lines if you if you sketch it out. Sketching out is just using, little lines to build your bigger line. Alright, so I'm just going to draw this. Alright, and this looks pretty good. I'm just going to draw that horizon line in the back. Alright. And I'm just going to use the eraser to clean it up. You might need to resize the eraser as you're working, because your eraser and your brush are going to be two completely different brushes. Alright, so first step is you're just going to do your drawing, and then just take your time, make sure it looks very close, similar to your drawing.